All right, so moving on to the final segment, we're going to pivot here to the world of basketball inside the NBA world. And in this segment, I'll be sharing my own NBA blockbuster trades that I would like to see transpire by the NBA trade deadline. So there's a couple in here that I realistically can see happening, and then I'll say the ones that I don't see happening, but it would be best for NBA viewership and for the ratings and for basketball fans around the world to see some of these trades happen. So the first trade I have, this is a realistic one that I can see happening. It's between two Western Conference teams, that being the Houston Rockets and the Sacramento Kings. It would be the Rockets receive De'Aaron Fox and Kevin Hunter, with the Sacramento Kings receiving Fred VanVleet, Reed Shepard, a 2025 first-round pick, and a 2027 first-round pick. Now, I can see this happening because it has now been reported that the Kings are open to having discussions for trading their star point guard in De'Aaron Fox ahead of the NBA trade deadline. And I think the Sacramento Kings are going to be looking to make the best move possible to get De'Aaron Fox out of town, to get possibly some good draft capital and some players as the Sacramento Kings figure out what they want to do next. Now, the Kings have struggled all year long. They fired Mike Brown, their head coach, a month ago, and Mike Brown was a part of them lighting the beam out there in Sacramento when they got to the playoffs as the third seed, and the Western Conference a few years ago, was coach of the year, now finds himself unemployed out of the league right now. And the Kings have struggled up and down. They're at the bottom part of the Western Conference right now. The Rockets being a top 3 contending team out in the West, I think this makes a lot of sense to improve their roster. This would give them De'Aaron Fox, an explosive, athletic playmaker that can get to the basket, make the plays, that can make the plays needed at the point guard position. He's averaging 25 points per game. This would give them the boost and the confidence to believe that they are a championship contending team. And can you imagine the duo of De'Aaron Fox and Jalen Green out there in Houston? And this would attract free agents to come to Houston as the Rockets continue to get better and become a legitimate threat for years to come out there in the West, their conference. But meanwhile, for the Sacramento Kings, I think the trade makes sense because this could be a time they hit the reset button. They still, even if they do trade De'Aaron Fox, they would still have DeMar DeRozan. They would still have Sabonis. So there would still be Malik Monk. There would still be talent out there in Sacramento. If you just trade away De'Aaron Fox and see what you could get, possibly some first-round picks and some players in exchange for that, this could see where you want to go and see if you're willing to trade players like Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, and other players out there in Sacramento, and possibly hit the reset button and blow it up out there in Sacramento. But this is a trade that I definitely could see happening by the trade deadline. The Rockets and the Kings figure out a way to get De'Aaron Fox to Houston, and then the Kings get something good in return from the Houston Rockets. Now, this trade is obviously unlikely to happen, but this is something that would increase the NBA viewership and be good for basketball fans, in my opinion. So that would be the Lakers and the Hornets trade. The Hornets trading LaMelo Ball to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Hornets receiving Austin Reeves, Max Christie, Rui Hachimura, a 2029 first-round pick, a 2031 first-round pick, and two 2025 second-round picks. Now, never say never, but it would be a fun trade to see LaMelo Ball play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis out in the the purple and gold out there in LA with the Los Angeles Lakers. This would bring another star to LA, knowing that LeBron James is going to retire in the next year or so. He's 40 years of age. He can continue to do this, but realistically, he's not going to want to continue to play at this high level, being in his 40s forever. So I just feel like this would be a good fantasy trade to get LaMelo Ball to play with the Lakers. That would be must-see TV with a new big three to watch every single night that you turn on the TV in the NBA world out there in the Western Conference. But the Hornets, I think they should really consider trading LaMelo Ball very soon, because they could find themselves in a similar situation to how they wasted Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker was an outstanding point guard that his prime days were wasted out there in Charlotte because the team was not getting better and they never established themselves to be championship contending team. So just like Kemba, LaMelo Ball is in his 5th year and the Hornets are still not championship contending team. They should consider doing this for the due diligence of LaMelo Ball a player that could be a really good, solid piece for a contending team. It'd be another face of a franchise that is just a contending team. So I don't think this trade would happen, but it would be fun for the NBA. But I really do think in a year or so, the Hornets should think about trading away LaMelo Ball and thinking about what you can get for him. Now, next, or last but not least, this one I think is a wild card shot to happen, but I could see it happening. Jimmy Butler getting traded to the Denver Nuggets. Now, listen, again, it's a wild card and a hot take, but I feel like this could be something that could happen. Because this Jimmy Butler situation with the Miami Heat has been so bad to watch over the last few months. The relationship between Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley has officially imploded. It's exploded, and Jimmy Butler can no longer be a part of this Miami Heat team. He's a cancer to the roster. And this is another star that Pat Riley has unfortunately driven out of South Beach. LeBron James, you couldn't afford to lose him in the early 2010s. You lost him. He drove Dwayne Wade out of town the first time out of Miami. Now Jimmy Butler, one of the greatest Miami Heat players of all time, driving him out of town. And he's been suspended several times by the Miami Heat this year. I think it's eventually Adam Silver's going to have to step in if this situation gets even worse. But at some point, I do see the Miami Heat trading away Jimmy Butler before the NBA trade deadline. And I think going to the Nuggets would be a wild card pick. And I know Jimmy Butler has his preferred trade destinations like the Phoenix Suns. He would like to play with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker out there in Phoenix. He would like to play in Dallas with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. He would like to play with the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry and Draymond Green. I think Pat Riley is going to be petty in this situation. Jimmy Butler doesn't go to any of the preferred teams that he would like to be traded to. And there's going to be a championship contending team that's going to be desperate enough to possibly get this trade done. That being the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets just won a title a year or so ago. They still got a really good roster, a really competitive team out in the Western Conference. Nikola Jokic could possibly win his 4th MVP this year. The man is averaging a triple-double. And the way how the Nuggets are playing with him averaging a triple-double, they unlocked the code for Russell Westbrook. He is not the same MVP player that he once was years ago, but he's playing. This is the best that we've seen Russell Westbrook play at a long time. I think the Miami Heat would do this. And now that the asking price has gone down, I think it could probably take Michael Porter Jr. to come to Denver and possibly some other draft picks and another player. I think this deal could be done. Jimmy Butler, the Nuggets will be playing with house money here because Jimmy Butler is not obligated to come back for the next season. He's a free agent, and this could be an all-in move. Something that we've seen with the Kawhi Leonard of the Raptors, where Kawhi did not want to go to the Raptors, but they went all in to pursue him. The rest is history. Kawhi Leonard got a ring with the Raptors. He eventually left, but that trade played out and worked in the best favor for the Raptors. And this could be a similar situation with the Nuggets. Can you imagine a postseason run with the Nuggets out in the West with Nikola Jokic, a healthy Jimmy Butler, Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook playing at the level that he's playing, Aaron Gordon? I think they would make a big splash out in the West and show that they're serious about winning another chip out there in Denver. So, wild card situation, but that is something I really could see happening in the next several days in the NBA. But those are my NBA blockbuster trades that I would like to see before the NBA trade deadline. That is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.